It's time for the NFL draft on Thursday. That means it's time for the Fish Out of Water Show mock draft. And let me tell you right now, most of them already messed up the first pick with how they're thinking about this draft. Let's get into it next. And we're back. Listen, here's your episode overview. First and foremost, what this episode actually is. This is not, here are the prospects, here's my mock draft. That's what everybody does. We're not doing that here. What this is how the Dolphins should be thinking about the draft. This is what the philosophy should be, the constraints that they're going to face, the reality checks in each segment that they got to identify, and then execution under those simulated dynamics. Okay? So initially, I did think to do this as a two-part episode, but then I realized the NFL invites about 300, 350 players to the combine, and it's about 250 plus of them that's going to get drafted. So we're not going through the list of prospects. Other channels have already done the heavy lifting on that for me. Appreciate y'all, but that's not even Fish Out of Water Show episode worthy. Okay, what we're going to do here is this is a what I would do / what I want the Dolphins to do type of look at the draft. All right, then after the draft, we'll take a look at how close I came or how far away I was at matching the front office thought process and their actions. All right, so it's not gonna be short and sweet. It's gonna be streamlined and sweet because I can do all of that research, but it's a time and place for everything, and it's called 500 subscribers. So when we get there, I can go further. I can get my media pass, and I can I can try to get it the insider level. But until then, continue to tell a friend to click like and subscribe. All right. So let's move along. I did what I normally do. I compiled the information into tier buckets. I contained the information that I wanted to use to make the selections, and it needed to be a bit of a deeper look instead of just going with the general consensus board. So that means I did not want to just pick the highest rated next available player. All right. I wanted to take the approach to the draft that the player that we wanted to take is going to be off the board. But if he's there, then jackpot. Okay? So again, this is how the Dolphins should be thinking about the draft. Do what I'm telling you to do. All right? So here's your episode thesis. Right to it. Those Dolphin fans are thinking about the draft the wrong way. And this is how they should be drafting. All right? Let's explain the strategy approach in this next segment here. So I believe personally that the Dolphins draft strategy needs to come from multiple thought processes. Not to say that it won't. This is just my take. If they truly are building through the trenches, it's supposed to look like this. You focus on the offensive line. You got your edge as your priority defenders. Wide receiver, safety, cornerback as a secondary focus. Not the secondary as the positions that they play, but for the thought process, second and on focus. So the strict path focus would be the trench build because John Eric Sullivan said so.
We'll build this from the inside out. I think you have to do that. I think you have to make sure that your line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball is big, tough, resilient, and that there's depth. The thing that I think we have to focus most on right now is making sure that we build infrastructure. But we're going to make sure that we're building the infrastructure along the way so when we do find our trigger man, we have a team that he can go play and win with.
Okay, so that's our identity. It's supposed to be the offensive line and the defensive line being built first. All right, you get Hafley's defensive core installed, and the message behind that would be, this is how you build the foundation.
Message.
All right, so the second path is the hybrid, best player available in addition to the need. So if they're not working the draft from the previous angle, let's call the next best approach a mixture of best player available and drafting for need. All right, that's the most realistic NFL behavior, and the message behind that thought process is they're balancing value and they're looking at the holes on the roster and they're not guessing at what they're building. All right, now path 3 is to work from the pivot strategy, and this, if I were the GM, this is where I would win because this is where I would lead my strategy. The Miami Dolphins need to take the approach of expecting that the player that they want to take is going to be off the board at some point before it's their turn to pick. So what we do now. What do we do now with the player that we wanted now that he's off the draft board? Because everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So at that point, they're going to have to make evaluation pivots. We have to move away from the top most rated players. All right. And we're going to have our primary and secondary mid-round considerations already in place. Who are the primary mid-round considerations at each position of need. So finally, we need to know who the late round developmental targets are that the Dolphins may draft. And let's reset the frame here. This is not fantasy football. This is not fantasy drafting. This is not who I like for the. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's who I like, but not how they do it. Okay.
And you know how we do it.
This is roster construction. All right. We are not making luxury picks. We're not here making picks just to make a big splash. We're not here to satiate the bloodlust, big name for you, miseducated casual fans. Okay. We're because Mel Kiper Jr. told you who to pick. We're going after positional value. All right. The timing of the pick is everything here. Meaning, do I double down or do I trade back 2 spots or to the player that I want? And still while retaining all of the value, or you could gain value because this generally considered better and more talented player slides to your position. So from everything, we build off of that. So here's your first reality check, and this is very important. This is what most fans never think about, and I'm gonna tell y'all the truth.
Loyal service means telling hard truths.
Oh, truth again. All right, what's the truth? The hard truth.
This right here is what gets y'all into trouble. Not even during your fictitious fantasy football drafts are you thinking about this. This is where the casual football fan with no or low football IQ starts tweeting out loud and posting on the fan chat board thinking they know what they're talking about. Y'all keep mocking these players like they're guaranteed to be there. I'm going to be taking the approach that the player I want will not be there. If that player is there for whatever reason, he slips, he slides, then guess what? It's Christmas morning around here, all right? So if your guy is gone, what's your plan? Here is a fact of the matter. You need to consider this. We already know that there have been and there will be early round draft busts, right? Let's point to Deion Jordan. All right. So with that same thought process, we know that there'll be a 4th or a 5th rounder that's going to turn out to be a Hall of Famer too, right? So don't get hung up on where a guy is drafted, all right? First things first, prioritize the draft board by position, all right? I did a tier system, as I always do. I don't just do rankings, top to bottom. I will never do that, okay? This is based on the current state of the Dolphins draft chart that we already reviewed. And we took a look at that last episode in its entirety, and we're not about to do that here, not yet anyway. So my priority rankings and what I think they should be based on the roster need, we put them in tiers. Tier 1 is defensive end, interior offensive lineman, O-line, D-line. Either is fine. Both of are high, significant, and importance, okay? So you invert that and you make it interior offensive line / defensive end. And that makes the rule you cannot leave the 1st or the 2nd round without drafting one or the other. That's the rule. Tier 2, that's when we step into our skill position, either a cornerback, wide receiver, or a slot. Inverse that, wide receiver, slot, cornerback. You cannot leave the 3rd or the 4th round without drafting one or the other. And the only reason why I add wide receiver in there is because we have so many picks, and if you've actually done what you're supposed to do with these first few picks, this is where you can add a toy right here at the back of the 2nd tier. So tier 3 is going to be tight end, wide receiver, tight end. You cannot leave the 5th or the 6th round without drafting one or the other. Tier 4, we drop into the offensive tackle, outside linebacker, inverted outside linebacker, offensive tackle. Okay, tier 5, this is our luxury tier. This is going to be quarterbacks and running backs in the 5th tier, a late quarterback flyer, running back flyer, not necessarily needed, but you definitely need to bring in some young undrafted free agents. But again, you can pick one toy out of the bottom of the pile from tier 2 if you've done your job. So tier 1, defensive end, interior lineman. Only thing we got is Chop Robinson, Cameron Good. We added Robert Beal Jr., and there's a theme on players I want you to pay attention to. We got a bunch of juniors on this roster, all right? So Robert Beal Jr., David Ajabo, Ronnie Harrison Jr., Joshua Uche. On interior offensive line, we got Aaron Brewer, who's an all-pro. You got Jonas Savai-Naya. For the love of God, put him in his natural position of right guard. Then you got Jamari Sawyer, who's the veteran who played across the line. Put him on the left guard. Tier 2, safeties and cornerbacks, or best skill player available. Only thing here in our cupboard is Ethan Bonner, Ethan Robinson, Jason Marshall Jr., A.J. Green III. No relation to the great wide receiver. We also added the local kid, Marco Wilson, Alex Austin, and at safety, we've got the Dante Trader Jr., Lonnie Johnson Jr., Zane Anderson, and Daryl Baker Jr. Okay. Next tier 3, we got wide receivers and tight ends. We got Malik Washington there, Taj Washington, Theo Weiss Jr., and then we added Tutu Atwell. We got Jalen Tolbert out there, and at tight end, we resigned Greg Dulcich and brought in Ben Sims. Now, assuming that that's your 1 and your 2 at the tight end position, you're going to need a third that's going to push them for competition and become the promising developmental player there. All right. Now, for that position, you have to pay close attention to the past draft strategy of the Green Bay Packers. They don't take wide receivers in the first round, okay? They focus on taking them in the second and early in the third, so I will attempt to adopt that same mindset for the mock draft. Tier 4, your depth and development players. After Patrick Paul and Austin Jackson at the offensive tackle position, we've got Charlie Heck, and that's just not going to be enough to say we got quality depth. So you start targeting a young offensive tackle that can either push competition for either starter or outright take the backup position to either side, so you leave Heck back there as the versatile swing unless you can find somebody better. Maybe an undrafted free agent comes in or a veteran gets cut right before camp. Here's your reality check. This is your reality check number 2. Draft position is number 11. You have to be aware of the probability and what are the chances of our choice player falling to us. You need to be aware of the board movement and how it opens up. So this is going to be the edge right here, for at least for the Fish Out of Water show. Most creators just rank the players and then they give you their mock results after they spent an hour on it with no strain factors to the picks.
Message.
Okay, here we're going to simulate decision making under pressure. All right, so if I'm really a GM in the real world, you're using your prospect NFL score, I would use the PFF grade from their best and worst games from their career that covers the spectrum of their entire career. So I did not consider the dynamics of those players' bad game, meaning they might have been going through something at the time that they had a bad game. You know, God forbid they had a death in the family, or maybe he broke up with his girlfriend, maybe he found out he got his side piece knocked up. I don't know. I take that score and I use that against the opponent of equal or greater talent. So those 3 scores make up my 1 score, and then you watch a lot of film. That's how I grade them, okay? But for the mock draft, in this particular model, we're taking everything as linear, even though we know that it's not. But that's what makes this all so tough. None of y'all have all of the extra information, okay? And none of us have all of the extra information. So my scoring model, the off-the-field stuff for the players, all of that is pertinent, the interviews, but we can only go off of the scoring rating here, okay? So keep in mind, Jeff Hafley is a defensive-minded coach. He needs his centerpiece for his defense, the type of player that can help establish the team's identity on defense, just like Xavier Howard was the centerpiece for what Flores did. Not that that was his pick, but X was the player that you could leave in cover 0, cover 1. You could leave him on the island by himself because you understood that that portion of the field was going to be covered. So Hafley needs his piece de resistance,
As the French in France would say,
to be the engine to his 4-3 cover scheme. Okay, so my strategy for the first round, I'm taking the most impactful defensive end edge player that's available. Then I can, if he's not available, then I can either take the equivalent next best option on the offensive line or trade back from the pick. So we acquire more picks. This draft is perceived to have a bunch of multi-talented defensive ends. At some point in the draft, we will benefit from doubling down on the pick as an investment. Just 1, because the player that you pick first might end up being a bust, but 2, you might hit on both picks, and then you got a formidable tandem up front like what the Rams got with Byron Young and Jared Verse. Okay, so that would drastically improve our defense, and you would not have a problem with that. So the focus needs to be around the top 5 positions of need for the team. Here's your grade key. We're going by the NFL grade key, not the Yahoo key, not the ESPN key. These players are graded by NFL scouts. They're drafted by NFL GMs, and they're going to the NFL. We're using the NFL grade key. All right, 8.0 is your perfect prospect. All the way down to 5.50 is your priority undrafted free agent, or the type of player that you would spend a 7th round pick on, so you don't have to go through the undrafted free agency wave. You can guarantee that player to be on your roster. So perennial All-Pro, Pro Bowl talent, year 1 starter, Eventually a good starter, average starter, you see the scores there. So the reality check with that is at the number 11 overall pick, that means that any player that's an edge player rated at 7.0 is very likely to be gone. A top player that's rated at a 6.7 or a 6.9 will most likely be gone. So realistically, we're living in the 6.4, 6.7 range, and the dynamics of that is we're not just picking at 11. We also have that pick 30 that's late. So, and that's what I keep saying. Like, y'all keep doing these mock drafts like you only got one pick. All right? I got 2 first-round picks, and that changes everything. So we control 2 points of round 1, the beginning of the beginning of the middle of the first round and the end of the first round. That's our leverage. We go from becoming a team that's reactionary to the draft to a team that can actually turn into manipulating the draft, where we can actually set the run on certain positions should we double down or trade out of that spot. You don't have to force edge at 11. You can circle back to defensive end at 30. What you're going to have to account for are the teams between 11 and 30. You got the Cowboys, you got the Rams, Ravens, Steelers, Chargers, Eagles, Bills, and 49ers. These are trench-heavy teams. These are defensive-minded organizations. That translates to the edge position in the offensive line will get drained between 12 and 25. So what it means is you're going to have to read the board in real time and not end up like the 2003 Vikings.
Danny, the clock is winding down on the Vikings. What's going on
You
here?
gotta like 7 players. It doesn't matter.
Maybe there's an explanation, but we went through this scenario last year.
So to keep that from happening, the core rule for pick 11 is, can I get a comparable defensive edge at 30? If the answer is yes, you take interior offensive lineman or the best player available at 11. If no, you take edge immediately instead of forcing yourself into the wrong pick. Okay? So if the board completely collapses, trade back into the 12 to 20 range, but not too far back. I would make the rule right here. Don't trade back more than 2 spots in the first round. No more than 3 picks in round 2, no more than 4 picks in round 3, no more than 5 picks in any other round after that, no matter what. But I don't think they're using the Jimmy Johnson model here. So the goal of all of that is to pick up extra day 2 capital. I would like to accept 2 trades at the very minimum. This will allow me to re-enter the edge or the interior offensive line tier. All right. So again, don't panic at 11. You can actually double dip at 30 if you want to. I went away from the double dip strategy because it just wasn't turning out how I liked it. So I won't be using that strategy here. But now that we understand how it should be approached, what the Dolphins should do, let's actually run this thing, man. So see, here's the difference between them and the Fish Out of Water show. Okay, it's easy. Like I said, it's easy to sit there and take however long or as many minutes as you need on each pick, going back and forth between all your resources. There's no real way to replicate the dynamics that the GMs go through. So they present their mock draft, and you don't even know if they even really made that pick. They're just listing the best player. So what I'm going to do is get this mock draft completed live on screen. Okay, and with all of the processes and the rules that we've established so far, and I will affix some more rules as we work our way down to it, and have it completed within a time frame that will still allow me to post this as a standard format runtime episode. Okay. Initially, I had a different way of doing it, but it didn't work for the camera shoot portion. So what I did was I put an overall time limit to the mock. And I've done enough of these that I should be able to rapid fire them off. If I've done my homework and I've scouted the prospect like the front office will have needed to have done, this is not a perfect setup, but I think it will achieve a microcosmic overall effect of what's going on. So the draft should only take so many minutes, all right? And I need to complete the draft in that time limit or less, all right? And for each trade that I complete, I'm going to get to add 1 minute to the finish line, okay? So I've already identified my primary target, Ruben Bain Jr. He is an edge graded at 6.7. Add to that the news that has resurfaced about the car accident that he had, and the passenger unfortunately lost their life. Very sad situation. And all jokes aside, man, I would have to believe that every team from 15 down to 32 is a suspect in having had that story leak out just before the draft. And dare I say that the Miami Dolphins are probably your prime suspect sitting there at 30 with a top pick at 11. Just like the Laramie Tunsil situation where he was smoking weed in the gas mask bong and it came out before the draft and he fell to us. Same thing here what could happen with Ruben Bain, and besides he's a junior. And we already know we need one more junior on the squad, okay? So he's the highest realistic edge that might be available at 11. He is a scheme fit for the defensive identity. He will have an immediate impact wherever he goes. This is the cornerstone potential. This is Hafley's identity pick. He could be, okay? And if he's gone, immediately switch the rule to interior offensive line targets. They're safe. They've got a higher floor. You don't know their ceiling, but you're definitely investing to protect your new quarterback. Whether that's Malik or Quinn or somebody in this draft, we need to not repeat the mistakes of the past. Can we agree on that? All right, so first thing I want to do is let's go ahead and display the full mock. Let's go ahead and give it to him. All right, so we will be using the Miami Dolphins, and we will be doing the 26th draft, all 7 rounds, pre-draft order, expert board. We're going to go see if I do it fast or normal. It helps me out with the speed, so to give me the disadvantage, it's got to go slow, but it also lets you see what it is. Matter of fact, let's move me over and out of the way just a little bit here. All right, and then like I said, we're going to keep everything linear. I do like the free-for-all. It makes it a little bit quirky. But you get better traits with the standard format. So we named this the Fish Out of Water Show live mock draft. Let's not even waste any time. Let's get right to it, man. All right, and start. Here we go. You already know Mendoza's gonna go first. All right, so Mendoza's gone, and Reese is gone. Maui Noah's gone. That is gonna kill me so bad on Thursday, man. Let me see. All right, and the Dolphins are on the clock. What do we got here? We getting an offer. I'm going to read this first one, and then I'm going to fly through the other ones. They want the first round pick at 11. They want to give us their second and give us a third, and in the future, 2027 round 2 and round 3. That's not going to be enough. None of these are ever going to be enough, so I'm going to just go ahead and reject that, and we're going to take a look at, so like I said, the mocks have been showing Ruben Bain dropping. My tier says you got to take that defensive end first. I'm going to be taking Ruben Bain here. The Miami fans will never forgive me if I did not take him, so welcome home, Ruben Bain. All right? Let's move on, man. So Delane went off the board. Tyson went off the board. Ione went off the board. I want that offensive lineman. Casey Conception went. God dang it. Warren, Sadiq's gone. Howell's gone. I like Falk. Miller's gone. Parker's gone. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I've been doing these things, and I should be on point. We got any trades coming through? Okay. Baltimore wants to get the 1. They want to give us their 2nd, 4th, and future 4 and 5. I don't like it, so I'm going to reject that one. Philadelphia giving me a 3 or 4, future 3, 3 and a 4. That's not going to be enough. I'm going to stay put. Okay, so like I said, I've been doing these long enough to where I should know, and because I do know kind of what's going to happen there, let me pull that back just a little bit. Let me go with, Amari Cooper's there. God, let's go with him. I'm not even going to sit up there. I'm going to take the wide receiver early, and I'll explain to you why I took him there. Because I'm going to get the rest of the tiers. I'm going to get the rest of the buckets correct. So if you don't get that wide receiver early, y'all been complaining that we got rid of Jalen Waddle, so we need some sort of weapon there. So Tampa Bay is offering nothing but futures. Future 2, future 5, future 6 in 2027. Don't want any of that. 5, a future 2, 6, not good enough. I'm going to just fly through them because now, dropping back from 43 to 55. I can't do it. I can't. You know what? Let me hold on to that. And future 4th, that's not going to be good enough. You know what? Let me see what we got here. Let me see. Let me take myself. I got to do it this way. Oh, no. I already know how this is. I've seen this movie before. I'm going to take my offensive lineman here. And, of course, I like Connor Lew. Connor Lew would be a perfect backup for Brewer right now, but he's not, he wouldn't take over for another 2 years. So we need somebody that can potentially come in and help us now. I'm going to take this offensive lineman, Besantis, all right? So Woods gets picks. I can know McDonald, Terrell. I like Terrell. I like Hurst. That's the Falcons. I can see them taking him, keeping him home. Let's see. Pregnant. They took some of my interior offensive linemen there. Yeah. I knew they weren't going to drop. So we see Stowers going. Crawford, Arizona. I like Josephs. Markel Bell went in the 3rd. Shut your mouth. And see, that's why I like these, because that's a real deal thing, man. The Bears are offering me a future 4, and they want to. Nah, I don't like that. Dallas is wanting the 32. Wait a minute, going from 75 to 92, giving me 2 5s and a future 5. That actually might be good. I definitely don't want that. Let me see what we got here. Let me take a look at my selections. Interior offensive line. I want to take a look at my safeties. You know what? I said we don't have to reach on a safety or a cornerback because we got Halfley. Halfley, you know what? Let me take that trade. I'm going to take that trade. Dallas, you got a deal. We drop back. Yeah, I know. Oh, dealt one off the board. That's okay. I got another tight end in mind. That's okay. Washington, Halsey. I kind of wanted to get Halsey, but we don't need to reach for the safety right now. We don't need to reach for the safety. Detroit's going to give us 2 4s, a 5, and a 6. It's not good enough. Nah. None of it's good enough. I need to see who just went. Keontae Scott. God dang it. Okay, don't worry about it. We need a starting corner. We need a slot corner. So, matter of fact, let me take a look at what we got in the cornerbacks here. We got Davidson, and Muhammad, safety. But okay, Kilgore's still there. You know what? I've been doing this fast enough. You see a guy, take a guy. You like him, you take him. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm wavering here. You know what? Let me get Malik Muhammad. I'm going to take Malik Muhammad. Yep, I know y'all don't like it, but get over it. You'll be all right. Connor Lew went off the board. Kansas City's. Matter of fact, I'm not. These thirds are my magic, so I can't do nothing with these. Now I can go get that safety. I'll go take Kilgore, 91. See a guy you like, take the guy. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Jason Kilgore. Matter of fact, you know what? Before I even make that mistake, let me put my glasses on because I didn't hit the wrong button a time or two. Williams went off the board. Golly. Okay, so Tampa Bay's offering, I will reject that one, a 3 and a 6. Drop back 4 spaces and pick up a 6. I might talk to you, Seattle. Drop back to the 4th, pick up a 6, 7. I don't like that. Already saw the Seattle deal. Baltimore's offering a 4, future 5 and a 5. Reject that. Nah. You know what? I said I wanted to at least accept 2 trades. I'm going to accept that trade right there. All right, and nope, because this is my drop back spot. So I don't want to hear from nobody. Leave me alone. Let me see what my select. I got to do it this way. Where's my little board? Let me get my little board up. Oh man, I didn't even roll back up to my little board. That's going to cost me. All right, go back up. Come on. This is live. Let's go. All right. So coming back to this. Okay, I am looking for my offensive tackle or my tight end here. Let me see what we got on the tight end. Is it time to pick him? No, tight end. She's still there. I cannot believe that. Nope. Go back. I said tight end. Linebacker, running back. I'm going to take my offensive tackle. I got to come up with a tackle right here. Gosh, I hate to take him this early. But I need that other tackle. I need that other tackle. Okay, giving me a 4th and future 5, 7, and 7. Nope. Nope. That's too far of a drop back. We're going to stay where we are. All right, let me take a look at my selections again. I got my edge. I got my interior offensive lineman. I got my cornerback. I got my safety. I got my defensive tackle. I could go for a tight end here. Yep. Let me see what's out there. Is my guy there? See a guy, like a guy, take a guy. It would be a little bit early for him. Where are we in the 3rd round? Is there another wide receiver that we can double down on? You know what? Again, the Packers take wide receivers in the 2nd and 3rd round. I'm going to adopt that here, and I am going to take Surratt. I'm going to just take him. Again, it's you may not like the player, but it's the position, it's the value. the pick at that position that we're going for. Don Corleone, Prysock. That's my late cornerback, Casey. This is a good one. This is a good one. They messing with me just because they know I'm going live with this one. Oh my gosh. So I am up against the clock. It's supposed to be 15 minutes, but we'll see. I accepted 2 trades, so I get 2 more minutes, so make it a total of 17. But so long as the episode lands within the time frame, I'm good to go. So let them keep going. Let them keep going. Let them keep going. All right. We are on the clock. All right, so we ain't accepting no trades right now. No trades. Let me take a look at my selections again. I got Bain, I got my wide receiver, I got my interior offensive lineman, cornerback, safety, offensive tackle, wide receiver. Now right here, I still need that tight end. Oh, he's gone. And that's why if you see a guy, you like a guy, take a guy. I would have taken Trigg right there, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to look for. He's right there. Dolphin Nation will not forgive me if I don't take this flyer right here. He's not going to make it to the 5th round. He may not even make it this far. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab Taylor Green right now. Got him. Got him, y'all. I went on ahead and took the project quarterback, all right? So he don't have to start right away. He get to hold that clipboard, learn from Malik, learn from his mistakes. Yeah, see, the Jets took Klubnik. They would not have let Taylor Green get to the 5th round. I'm sorry, that was not going to happen. So I had to jump the shark, as they say, and go and take that pick. Now I got back-to-back picks right here. What you gonna do, Quan? What you gonna do? I am not leaving here without a tight end right now. Kaczmarek's still out there. Kaczmarek's gone? You know what? Let me get Jolie. Let me go ahead and take this tight end right here. And then Tampa Bay is offering to drop back 3 spots and pick up a 7th. I may actually take that. I'm going to reject that one. Who's got the better spot? Yep, it looks like it's going to be Tampa Bay. And then you're an AFC team, so we're going to have to skip you, Colts. Yep. You know what? I'm going to accept it. So I get another minute added to my... All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. You know what I want to do? I need that other defensive end. I'm not coming out of here without a second defensive end. All right, so I do like Trey Moore, but in this particular instance, I'm going to take Anthony Lucas out of USC and close up that edge department. We got our 2 edges, and while I'm looking at it, let me see what else we got. I am going to go after, well, we really need to see who comes off the board, I guess. I like Reardon. I like Perkins, linebacker. All right. We're rejecting everything. This is the one that we drop back to. So what do I need? Definitely need a defensive lineman. And let's see what we got out there. I'm taking Capehart. Capehart's still out there. And so is Albert Regis. You know what? Let me take Capehart. I'm going to take Capehart right there. All right, come on. I'm running. I'm up against the clock. I am up against the clock. Yeah, reject all. I'm not hearing any more offers. Let me take a look at my selections here. And you know what? I need that. I need another cornerback. I don't like any of them. Golly. I think I missed my opportunity to see what safety's looking like. I would take him late. Let's see what the big board's saying. Let me take a look at my picks again. I need a linebacker. Let me see what we got over here. You know what? In this particular instance, I'm going to take Willie Gay Jr. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson this late. We're in the 6th round. I can do that right there. This is not going fast enough. This is not going fast enough. See where my next picks are coming up at. But I added 2 minutes, so linebacker, down lineman, edge. I am going to. Yeah, I know. I am not coming out of here without another cornerback. I am not coming out of here without another cornerback. Let's see. Wow, I hate you so much. Oh, I hate you so much. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab Diego. Got to grab Diego. I need another offensive tackle. I hate to double dip like that, but I'm going to go ahead and grab Diego this late. We'll see what it says. And I really did want to take a fly. Oh, Kaylon Black's there? All right, well, listen. I like Jalen Wright, but Jalen Wright's going to have to get a fire lit under his butt to stay on this roster. So let me go ahead and take this running back late in the 7th. And beat Bitchberg for it. Gulbin, Pettis. All right. And this is going to be my last selection. I need another wide receiver. I got to take a fly on the guy. So I like Sturdivant. He's a project. He ain't going to start. But I needed to close that wide receiver loop. Y'all said we got rid of Waddle. We don't have any weapons, so there it is. All right, and that is the end of the draft. All right, so we're getting our results here. It definitely took longer than I wanted to. So, of course, I know the first grade is going to be an A. We got Amari Cooper, that's an A. We'll take a look at the picks. So, Ruben Baines an A. Santos is a B. Malik Muhammad's a B. Jalen Kilgore's a B. Oh, my gosh. Demetrius Conover, Elijah Surratt, Taylor Green. I did end up getting Justin Jolie. So, we're going to take these grades. All right. And I'm going to feed them to the analysts. All right. And then I need to go back to here, save it, and then track the trades. Copy that and give it to let's see what he tells us. Let's see what we got here. That hurts my heart. My final grade is an A-. I really wanted to get an A+. I was really going after an A+. So it tells me this is a smart, trade-driven roster, expanding draft class built on patience, value extraction, and board positional coverage. You used the board aggressively, moved down multiple times, and still came away with premium core plus meaningful depth. This class feels less flashy than some earlier versions, but something realistic and sustainable. All right, so the overall draft identity, the trade down volume class with premium foundations, this draft clearly followed the philosophy of secure the cornerstone talent early, move down when tiers flatten, add multiple day 3 assets, build the entire roster, not just chase stars. The identity of this class is use premium picks for impact players, then use trade levers to create waves of contributions. This is a legitimate front office strategy. The pick by pick review, I'm a little disappointed in some of the grades, but if it disagreed with the grades, it would have a warning sign by it. So there's no warning sign, so we'll take those grades as far as what they are. But the evaluation, the trade with Dallas was an A+ trade, getting multiple picks, dropping back. The trade with Seattle was an A grade, and the trade I took one too many. I think that's what it is. I think I accepted one too many trades, but I wanted those extra picks. So Roster construction analysis, I got 3 wide receivers. I got interior offensive lineman. That's really where I needed to go, was another interior offensive lineman, but I didn't like what was out there. But I did get another tackle, okay? Quarterback, tight end, running back. I improved the offensive ecosystem significantly. I got weapons, protection, and a developmental quarterback. So defense added 2 edges, which is what I definitely wanted: a cornerback, a safety, down lineman, and a linebacker. Solid defensive spread with premium emphasis on the pass rush. The build logic made sense. The class touched nearly every important position. Minor critiques: no true premium cornerback investment. Yeah, I'm beating myself up for that. Heavy quantity over elite consolidation. But again, Hafley can raise these guys to their ceiling. Only 1 interior offensive lineman despite an early need. Yep, I'm punishing myself for that one. And a late wide receiver pick. Likely low impact, but we still needed another body out there. So it's an A-, not an A. I needed more depth, and it's an A-, not a B+, which is why I was getting B+ and A's. I wanted to get an A+ for the episode. So I didn't get my grade, but if the Dolphins come home with an A- grade, we're not going to be mad at that. All right, the best pick was Justin Jolly. I disagree with that. Ruben Bain at 11 was the most important pick. Sleeper pick was K-Part. Listen, he's going to learn from Zeeler. And the riskiest pick was Taylor Green. I understood that. I knew that, but he's going to hold the clipboard anyway. So this looks like a front office that trusted the board, understood depth tiers, and prioritized roster volume without sacrificing core quality. This is how sustainable drafts are built. So whether you liked it or not, here's your honest summary. This draft may not win headlines, but it wins where real organizations care. Strong first-round anchors, real offensive line help, multiple pass catchers, secondary support, extra bodies in the trenches, smart asset management. I mean, I'm not mad at that. Final verdict: not the flashiest class, but one of the smartest and most realistic builds. Okay, so if the Miami Dolphins did that for you, if they came away with the A- grade, are you going to be mad? I'm going to say no. All right, so what we actually built was something sustainable. And like I said, y'all want flashy drafts. What I did was I built a complete roster, and I added a junior. Okay, so what matters is what kind of environment the player is developing in. If there's a competent front office in place, that's everything that matters. So let me get back over here to the main flag, and let me put me back up right here, and we're good. Okay, so let me get up out of here. But before we go, let me finish off by saying, does the player have good coaching around him? Remember, we looked at the coaching staff, so we have good coaches. Will these players have veteran presence around them, showing them the right way to do it? Yes. Why? Because most of these are minimum salary veterans. All of these guys are trying to get their next contract. So they're going to be hungry for a big payday before they hit their 30 wall. Okay? So you add to that they don't want to get beat out by a rookie. Are you kidding me? You tell the Miami Dolphins to watch this episode, follow my model, and we'll have an A grade on the draft. So that's it. I got to get out of here. The episode's over. Fish Out of Water Show. We'll see what they do Thursday. Check back with me.